Over the course of the last couple NBA seasons, it seems that the league has finally been able to transition out of its big three era. However, the Brooklyn Nets trade for James Harden might have just sprung us into another era of big threes, God forbid, but we're not going to talk about that right now. With dynamic duos seeming to take over the league in the recent couple years, as I just mentioned, it seems that every single year people like to create a ranking list, placing these duos in order of which they believe is the best in the entire league. And even though I haven't watched one of these videos in quite some time, I am going to use this video to go over a dynamic duo in the NBA today that I feel is the most underrated in the league without a doubt in my mind. Now, before we get into another one of our daily NBA videos, I'm going to save you guys the trouble as I always do and give you 5 seconds to go down below and subscribe. You guys are not going to regret doing this, I promise you that. As I just mentioned, we're coming out with multiple new NBA videos every single week, covering trending NBA topics, countdown videos, the list goes on and on. While you're down there, if you could, don't forget to slap a like on the video as well. I really do appreciate all the support, guys. It just drives me more and more every single day to create these NBA videos for you guys. So thank you to all of you, but without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, as I said, this video is being made just to simply show appreciation and respect to a dynamic duo in the league that I feel does not get the credit they deserve to get. And as you probably could already tell by seeing the thumbnail of this video, if you are watching this, yes, it is the dynamic duo of Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram for the New Orleans Pelicans. I do know their current record as I'm making this video is not a great example to show why I feel like they are an underrated duo, considering they are 5-7 and currently 12th place in the Western Conference as I am recording this. But it is still very early in the season. They have a sort of new supporting cast around them, and I really do feel like they're going to be able to turn this around and make this team into a playoff contender as we approach the end of the season. Aside from their team record, the stats and numbers they have been putting up as a duo while playing together this year is very promising and can definitely keep a lot of Pelicans fans confident and excited if they are able to retain these two as a duo for the next 5 or so years. We're just going to pull up their stats now so I can show you guys what I am talking about. So now we see Zion Williamson so far this year, through 11 games, has been putting up averages of 22.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game on about 58% field goal shooting. While on the other hand, we have Brandon Ingram so far this year putting up 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists per game on about 45% shooting from the field overall and 36% from 3. Now, I do know there are going to be some people watching this video and try to make the argument that these numbers aren't anything impressive, and like I mentioned before, it's not leading to anything of a positive record. But you guys, when thinking about the numbers that these two are putting up and how effectively they have been playing together so far this season, the biggest factor that needs to be brought to mind and is easily overlooked quite often is undoubtedly the age of these two right now as they are doing this. Seriously, I don't know if it's just me, but personally, when thinking about Brandon Ingram in the NBA, I like to think right off the bat that he's like maybe 26 years old. Because again, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like he has been in the NBA for like 7 or 8 years. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but if you were actually unaware, he is currently 23 years old in his 5th season in the NBA. I just personally love how we've been able to watch the improvement of Brandon Ingram because he was really written off at such a young age for not performing how a lot of people expected him to when he was with the Los Angeles Lakers. And I really do feel like the change of scenery and getting him into a completely new situation helped him a ton. And all in all, it really is kind of nice to see a player blossom out into the type of player that everyone expected him to be after being written off at such a young age for not being able to perform as quickly as people would have expected originally. But then on the other hand of this duo, you have a 20-year-old putting up relatively the same, if not better numbers, depending on how you want to look at it, who also, not to mention, was probably the most hyped up prospect in NBA history since LeBron James himself. With Zion Williamson only playing a total of 24 games his entire rookie year, there was a lot of criticism being thrown his way. A lot of it having to do with him being injured for most of the season and people wondering if he was ever going to be able to stay completely healthy and play a full season with the team. And so far, it has been smooth sailing this year for the Pelicans as they had hoped. He has only missed 1 game so far, and that was due to health and safety protocol. But within the 11 games we have seen Zion play so far this year, he has done everything the Pelicans are probably asking from him. I'm actually also recording this video after probably what was Zion's best game of the year, if not his entire career so far, as he put up a stat line in a win over the Sacramento Kings of 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists on an absurd 13 for 15 shooting from the field overall. Now, I know some people are probably going to make the argument as well that the only reason he shot this well was because relatively all of his shots were inside the paint this entire game. And this has also been a major reason why people have been throwing him shade over the last year and a half he has been in the league, because most of his game that we have seen so far consists of inside scoring, which the league has been seeming trying to refrain from more and more as the years go on. But this is what I love about Zion's game the most, is that people know that he can only score from the inside relatively at this point. Yeah, he can kind of shoot from the outside, but he's nothing amazing by any means. Yet, if you watch the Pelicans games, you can see that there is literally nothing that anybody in the league can do to stop this man from scoring in the post. Because as people have mentioned time and time again, as we saw Zion rise up as a young prospect, that this is a level of physical dominance the game has never seen before. And getting back into his ability to score from the outside, I'm not saying it's awful by any means, it just can definitely be improved, and I'm sure we can all agree on this. And if and when it does improve, the league is going to be put on notice more than they already are by this duo. And also, looking into their game stats from the entire year so far this year, their consistency is what stands out above the rest when I look at these two play. I will make sure to pull up side-by-side screenshots of their stats from all of their regular season games so far, but as you guys can see looking through them right now, there hasn't really seemed to have been a single game where either one of these guys have got completely shut out from doing anything. As you can see, Brandon Ingram's worst performance of the year seemed to have been against the Phoenix Suns, where he put up 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, while still shooting 6 from 11 from the field overall. While we look at Zion, you see his worst performance was against the Oklahoma City Thunder, putting up 12 points, 5 rebounds on 4 of 6 shooting, which is still pretty good from the field overall. It just seems that in these two examples of games for both of these players that they were not able to be used as efficiently as the team probably wanted them to. But you guys know it's understandable that every player is going to have a bad game. I just wanted to point out the fact that these guys are not really having those bad games on a consistent level. And getting back into the fact of looking at the New Orleans Pelicans team overall, I am just imagining what this duo would be able to do and how much more recognition they would receive if they actually had a better supporting cast around them. And I'm really hoping the New Orleans Pelicans are going to be able to do this for both BI and Zion down the road. Because again, like I said, if you guys have not been watching this duo much this year and you have the opportunity to, I would highly suggest it. Because if I'm going to be honest, I personally do feel like if this duo is to stick together down the road for the next couple years, I really do feel like they can jump into one of the best duos in the entire NBA. Because as we mentioned, these two are still young guns. They got a long road and career ahead of them, and I'm really excited to see what they can do and what they can bring to the city of New Orleans. Before we do end this video, I want to ask you guys a question for today, and I'm hoping you can leave your feedback in the comments down below. But the question for today is, what is your other, or who do you guys believe is the most underrated duo in the NBA besides Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson? Because I do know there are plenty of other duos around the league that don't get the recognition that a lot of people feel they deserve, so I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. But you guys, I'm really hoping you enjoyed today's video. Again, if you guys did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We're coming out with brand new NBA videos on a daily basis around here. The show's just getting started around here, and I appreciate each and every one of you who are sticking around for the ride. I can't thank you guys enough. So once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.